Wonders of the First has some of the best card arts, best theme, and best gameplay of any trading card game out right now. It's why it's my favorite game, and in this video I want to share my top favorite cards, each of my favorite Wonders by Orbital, my favorite items, spells, lands, my favorite arts, my favorite gameplay pieces, and I know some people might be upset because I'm not picking their favorite, and that is what the comments are for. So let's go over my favorite cards of the Existence set. Howdy, my name is American Texan, and I love trading cards, specifically the game Wonders of the First. Like I said in the intro, I think it is the best game, best TCG game on the market right now. And there are plenty of things to enjoy about the game itself. And as we come into the second set, I want to take a look at the first set. And after playing it for almost exactly 1 year, I think I've got my favorite cards. I'm going to look at favorite arts as well as my favorite cards per orbital, as well as per item. So let's go over to my screen here and let's take a look at each of my favorites. All right, so we are starting off with Boundless Wonders here. My favorite art and favorite card abilities. Now, this is card abilities. I really love Ethereal Enigmas, but he has no abilities, so we're not looking at him. And let me tell you, this was already harder than I thought it would be just to pick a favorite Boundless ability, because many of these cards you just hate to play against. So I'll start with the card art that I prefer the most, and I've got to give it to her, my wife, on a card, the Keeper of Beauty. Best art, in my opinion, for Boundless. She looks amazing. She looks fierce. And yeah, her card is very helpful too. She's not core, so I mean, she works in just about any deck. And hey, if I can have my wife in a deck with me, then hey, I'm gonna have my wife in a deck with me. But I think it's a really great card, great looking card. She looks fantastic, so you know, it's nice. And it bothers me to see so many people collect Keepers of Beauty, because it's like people collecting pictures of your wives. Guys, you got to calm that down. You got to cool that off. Now, as far as abilities, this was a really tough choice because there are some great cards in here. And even as I think about, well, what are the cards that I use the most? I don't use them because I love to use them. I use them because I feel like I have to. So for example, Feline Entity, you hate to see it across the board. It is non-core, so it works in many decks. Nexus is great. I'm still a little cooler on Nexus than most people just because it is nullified by Throne, and its on arrival can be countered by, say, Chrysalis Spider. But she is a great card. It's a very tough choice. But listen, this is a personal list. This isn't the best cards. This is my favorite cards. And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but my favorite Boundless Wonder when it comes to the ability is actually Nessala Majoris. There's something about a 2-cost, eventually 6-power card that just resonates with me. I love running Ascend decks. I have a few Ascend decks that I really enjoy. I have a 1250 Ascend decks that it's undefeated in SCG tournaments during the 1250s on Friday nights, and I just really love this card. I get to put her out in the first round. She just sits there like a ticking time bomb, and if someone threatens Realm 1, you know, I can just play Lunar Empowerment and make her a 6-power, or at the end of the round, I can do a double Lunar Empower, like she ascends to become a 6-power, and then I can Lunar Empower again, she becomes a 10-power. There's something about her. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I really enjoy her abilities. And it's just something that I like to include. And I believe she's low DBS. I don't have the DBSs here, but Nessala Majoris definitely is my favorite Boundless Wonder. And this is personal, so let me know what your favorite is in the comments, and let's argue about it, I guess. This is what you're supposed to do on YouTube, right? On to the Heliosynth Wonders. Now, I promise this isn't the only joke. I'm not gonna be the guy that just tells the same joke over and over again, but I gotta give it this one more time. Favorite Heliosynth art for Wonders is definitely going to be Tyros Iron Fist here, just because they used my likeness on the card here. Let me actually get a little bit of a zoom in here. So many people don't know, they actually used my likeness for this card, but when they put it through the AI assisted art process, they actually had to tell it to make the muscle smaller. Many people don't see it on camera, but yeah, so anyways, I got to pick this one for the art because it's just modeled after me, and you got to go with your own. So I know I picked my wife for Boundless and I picked myself for Heliosynth. It's the last time I'm telling this joke, but as far as the art, I love this one. You know, he's an ability that I don't get to use a lot, but the fact that he's just there, he's like one of my favorite manliest movies, The Gladiator. It just resonates with that, and it's a sweet looking card. He's like ready for battle. I really like that. There's a lot of cyberpunk or sci-fi stuff in the Heliosynth. That's never been my jam. Like hey, you love cyberpunk, you love all that stuff, go for it, enjoy it. It's never been my thing. So that kind of takes away a lot of things that I think are good art, but not necessarily resonating for me. So Tyros definitely gets the art pick for me for Heliosynth Wonders. As far as abilities, I'm going to give it to Sister Azura Silversong. She is my favorite Heliosynth Wonder when it comes to the abilities. On arrival, she gives you 3 faith, and then when you tap her, you can spend faith and translate it into energy. This is a great card I like to run in a lot of decks. In fact, a lot of people run Heliosynth. They automatically include Compound Bow. I automatically include Sister Azura Silversong. She's great to help me get out Luminous Scarab early if I'm running Scarab in a deck, or there's a deck that I run big creatures in or big wonders in. So this helps me get those out earlier. In one game I played, I was able to get a Fungolith out on turn 2, which then let me get a whale, the Azure Sky Crustacean. I was able to get that out on turn 3, and it was all because I got Sister Azura at the beginning. I think I even got a Tau Mecha. So, Tau Mecha, then you play her, then you can tap. You got 5 energy in round 1. Absolutely wild. Combine that with a Quill, you're running 8 energy turn 1. Forget about it. It's going to be hard to get back from that. So, Sister Azura Silversong, I really, really like her for my favorite Heliosynth Wonder when it comes to abilities. On to Petraia Wonders, and man, this video is becoming harder to make than I thought it would be because I love so much of this stuff. Petraia has really great art for different reasons. I really like Murkmire Incarnate because why can't I not zoom in here? Here we go. Because it just looks so threatening. It's almost that Stranger Things, Cthulhu type of, what do you call that? That eldritch horror there. Like you see this thing coming up. It's the swamp coming to life, and it's just scary. I really like that. But then you've got the cuteness of the loyal friend. Where's he at here? I know I'm scrolling here. The loyal friend, the pug here. I really like that. I like a lot of the animals. Link's Paw Song. I really like the art of that. But I think my favorite art, I'm going to have to give it to Galen Mosspaw. This dude kind of gives me the same jive as Tyros. Like, it's just that epic, legendary. This dude has been around. He's the old samurai. Like, you ever hear people, like, you respect an old samurai more than anyone else because he has lived to be an old samurai, right? Like, you're supposed to die young. It's like a Navy SEAL, like, or one of those special forces guys. Like, I hear stories from military guys that when they go into town, they do these huge campaigns to get into a town overseas, and they get there and they find the spec ops guys or the special forces guys, and they've already been there for a week, and these guys don't wear armor. They don't wear armor. They wear weapons because they know their life expectancy is so low. The armor's not going to do much in what they're doing, so like they don't expect to live long. So if you see someone like that's lived a long life, it's like they were the top of the top of the top, the best of the best of the best, sir. So Galen Mosspaw gives me that energy. It gives me that vibe, that aura, right? Is that the name? Is that what the kids are saying? He's like this old, he's been there, he's seasoned, he's an explorer, I guess. And so all of this in the art just like communicates that with me. He's like been around, he's seen things. We also talk a lot about, it's a joke, I think it's a joke that a lot of people get. It's almost like he's got that old man strength. Like, you don't get into a fight with an old man because he's got that old man strength. Like there's something about, they don't have a lot of visible muscle mass, but man, they will take you down arm wrestling or in a fight. Like you don't mess with old guys, right? Like you don't mess with them. I don't know if I'm there yet. But it's like my dad would say, the fuse is longer, but the bomb is bigger. And this guy looks like he's got a big bomb. So you don't want to mess with him. So I think for art, Galen Mosspaw is definitely my favorite Petraia Wonder. And when it comes to playability or the card ability, I'm going to give it to Vobstalker. And I know a lot of people are kind of annoyed with him right now because he's in a lot of Petraia decks, but that's exactly why I like him. A lot of the best cards in the game are 2 power. And so Vobstalker can come in and just copy that. He can copy, we've all seen copying Betrayer, we've all seen copying Klee, but he can come in and he can copy Noctarum, he can combo with Quiet Creek, and he can copy a 3 power or a 4 power card. I think he's the most versatile Symbiosis card outside of Plant Terror, and he's one of my favorite cards if I'm running a Petraia deck, even if it's not on theme so much. I really, really like Vobstalker. That's definitely my favorite Petraia Wonder when it comes to the card ability. On to Solfera Wonders. This one is another tough one. A lot of dragons in here. I'm a little bit of a dragon guy, not too much. I like the historicity of dragons. If you look at the history of dragons and the lore and the different parts of dragon lore throughout the history. I took my family to the Creation Museum a couple years ago, and they had an exhibit on dragons, and it was really fascinating to see how the dragons have evolved in their storytelling throughout centuries past. There are a lot of things in here. I would love to give an honorable mention to Mitch, Mythic Mitch in the Discord, and you know him from Whatnot on Hobby Club. I think it's great, fantastic that they got the art for him on Commander Bathrall. It does look like they had to shrink his forehead a little bit to get on the card here, but it's still looking good. You're looking fantastic here, Mitch. All out of love, I say that. But I think my favorite card here as far as the art is going to be Drogothar. Let me get this better centered here. I really like Drogothar. It gives that vibe of like, this is the last thing you see. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, the Murkmire Incarnate, it's like this Eldritch Horror thing. You can see just how big Drogothar, I mean, he's a mountain of himself. He's coming out of the lava here. I think this looks awesome. And yeah, this is again, giving that vibe of this is the last thing Drogothar's enemies see. Like maybe this is the last thing you see if you come to chase the quill and you're not worthy. So I really, really like Drogothar when it comes to the art there. I think he's the best looking dragon. He's the most just horrifying looking dragon, so I really, really like that. As far as card abilities, this was tough because there's just cards you include in every deck because it is the best card right now. I mean, we all know Petraia of Ironskin Clan. He's going to be in most decks because he generates energy with all the land meta out there, but this isn't the cards that are auto include or the cards I think are the best. These are the cards that I personally like playing and using for fun. So for that, I'm actually going to give it to Viking of the Sageforge. I like playing this because it does give a little bit of some mind games with some opponents. I especially like playing him after I'm already soundly winning a realm or maybe when I'm losing a realm, because when he takes a stone, if that stone is seized from me, then he becomes a 7 power and you get a free attack. So essentially your opponent, when they take the stone of the realm that he's in, they have to beat you by 5, which is kind of hard. I've come to realize 4, 5, 6, like if you are winning a realm by 4, 5, or 6, your odds of keeping that stone go up tremendously because I don't know what the math works out to, but it gets harder for someone to beat that in one action without doing a huge investment on energy. So I really like Viking of the Sageforge. I love to get them out, run a aggro deck, get them out on turn 2, take the first stone, and they have to beat it by 5. And of course, when they try to beat it by 5, then I can just bump it up a little bit more with my own card. I think he's a great card to play around, and sometimes people forget that he's there, and so they'll take the stone and hey, he gets +7 and you get a free attack which you can use elsewhere. So if you're running something like maybe right here Borte Manticore, you can use that free attack to fly him around, give him +1 counters if he's already got it. So again, just for playability, he's not the best card. You're not going to see him a lot in the meta, but he is my favorite card ability for Solfera. All right, moving on to Thalwind Wonders. This one was another tough one because a lot of the things that make me like cards are found in Thalwind. For example, Azure Sky Crustacean. I found that I've really liked the art that has scale in depth perception, and the fact that you've got this. To me, this is an oil rig. Do y'all think that this is an oil rig here? And then you've got this giant whale that's 2 or 3 times the size. And if y'all have ever seen an oil rig, I grew up on the Gulf, so I've gotten to see a few in person, and those things are massive. I mean, those things are like downtown cities in the ocean. So just imagine like your local downtown city of, I don't know, at least 500,000 people. This thing is 3 times the size. Absolutely insane. We get the same thing here with Blazafeld. That Eldritch Horror just walking out of the waters into this village. I really, really like that card art. Additionally, I also like, there was a couple more here that were heavily considered, but not going to be the choice for me. Of course, Thorwing Thunderbeak, man, America incarnate here in the bird, looks amazing. Really like that card, but I think also Triton Behemoth. Something about Triton Behemoth, dude with like it almost looks like he has the mutton chops, and he's coming out of the water with an 8-pack. It's just this giant monster. I don't know, it's just something about the card. It just brings me joy. But I think the card that I like for the art the most is actually going to be Pale Ghost the Vast. This is the early backer box promo here. Let me get a better centering on that one. And again, it comes back to that monstrous scale. He's a serpent. Now, he's not a dragon. A lot of people think he's a dragon, but I don't think he has legs. Dragons have legs. We can argue about 2 legs or 4 legs, but he's coming out of the sea. You've got almost looks like the Sky Wraith, but you've got a boat here. You've got the birds flying around him. I just really, really like this. And I don't know, is he on the coast? It looks like he's coming out of the water. And is he on the coast? And these are trees and mountains on the side here. So that just gives you even more scale of just how big he is. And I don't know if it's the whiteness of it or maybe just the, what do you call the thing underneath him? Like, I don't know. To me, that signals like it's an old dragon. He's got all these markers here, these fins. Again, he's that old, wise dragon. And look at this. He's actually part of the coalition, which is also... let's see, Petraia is over here. Caroline, I think. Caroline Candor. I just noticed that. No, it's Loyal Friend. Loyal Friend is part of the coalition. That's interesting. Might have to check it out. How is Loyal Friend related to Pale Ghost? That is very interesting. I'm going to have to take a look and maybe another deep dive. So I really like that. And of course, look at his flavor text here. The ocean's wrath has a name and it coils beneath the waves. I love that. So Pale Ghost, definitely favorite for the art. As far as playability or card ability, again, there are cards that just go in most decks, like Moonfire Crystal Mouse, great card to put in a lot of decks. There's also Progo that you run in a lot of sealed decks. Rhineland's pretty popular too, another great Vobstalker target. A lot of great card ability. Skywraith, just flat out take a card from your opponent and keep it for the rest of the game. But as far as card abilities, I'm going to have to say my favorite is actually, it's pretty close. Captain Izzy was pretty close too, because I just like her ability in the mind games it can play. But actually, I think I like Carno Titan Ravager. He's not core, so I can play him in a lot of decks. He is pretty expensive, but if you can play him in a realm first, he pretty much owns the realm, because whatever your opponent plays, you can just knock it over and they can't win that battle in that realm. So he can just basically control a realm by itself. Not only that, a new thing I've been trying is to put Lamp of Luferia and then put Carno Titan next to Lamp of Luferia in the realm next to it. And then anyone that your opponent plays there, or if there's a card that's a problem there, you just attack with Carno Titan, move that wonder over to the lamp lane, and they're nullified. I kind of like that ability to move your opponent's wonders. There's not a lot that do that without portaling, which can cause its own issues. For example, if I want to get rid of someone's Fungolith threat, I can just knock it over into a lamp, but I can't portal it, because if I portal Fungolith, they're going to get another -4 counters to put somewhere. So I like Carno Titan. He's a little expensive, but he's a lot of fun to play with. So as far as my Thalwind favorite card ability, it's going to go to Carno Titan. And finally, for the Wonders, we're going to look at Umbrathene. This is the collection that I personally collect, and we're so close. There's 3 Formless Foil Mythics, and then I'm done collecting Umbrathene. I will be complete, including promos, including the SCG and all that, the promo there. So I am so excited to finally get those 3 Mythics. If you have a Formless Foil Raoul Lightman, Baron Balthor, or Desolation, please let me know, because I need those for my personal collection. Now, going on to the art. Ironically, Umbrathene, I'm not, even though I do collect it, I collect it for different reasons, but I'm not a huge like vampire, undead, horror guy. I'm just not. But it does have some really cool pieces. One of the funny things I think about in an art that I super enjoy is actually Divine Bloodbearer, and what I call his 20 pack. The dude is just abs, even up to his chest. He has no pecs. He has just abs up to his head, and his head is so tiny because I think his body is just metabolizing just for his abs. But I think that's a cool art. I just get a laugh out of, not because it's bad, but because it's entertaining to me. I know a lot of people like Dark Magic Hydra. The coloring on this is what makes it, and it is absolutely gorgeous on the Formless Foil treatment. But again, not that much into me. I almost picked Death Marcher Knight because he has just this insane battle armor. I mean, how can the dude even see? I don't know. He's a Dusk Kill. Is that Dusk Litter? Dusk Lighter? I don't know what that is. I don't know what he is, but he is a Death Knight. And yeah, this dude is just all armor. In the same way Divine Bloodbearer is just abs, this guy is just armor. Just absolutely menacing. But my favorite art, and again, this is personal preference. A lot of people don't like her art. I shouldn't say a lot of people. I've heard people say they don't like her art. The Prisoner, for me, is the best Umbrathene art. And it's really just because of the intrigue and the mystery around it, right? So, we know she's a demon, ancient mind, but according to the prologue letter, she was a person. So how ancient is she? How long has she been imprisoned? How long has the quill been protecting whatever she wrote? Her hands are rope bound, but you got this chain coming down. So is the chain connected like to her feet? I don't know. What's up with her lips? Is that blood? Is she biting something? Is she eating something? why does she have no eyes or whatever? Her hair is a mess, and she just looks insane. And then also I've seen some people criticize her hands, like maybe the AI messed up. It almost looks like maybe she has missing fingers or knuckles or something like that. I'm wondering actually if maybe she got her fingers taken away, like the whoever they are, who I think is the first forms, they, like, in order to make sure she could never write again because of what she wrote with the quill, they chopped her fingers off. I don't know. That's just me and my personal conspiracy, but I think this is a really just cool art. It's so simple, but in its simplicity, there's a lot of intrigue for me. So as far as Umbrathene art, this is definitely my favorite card. And when it comes to my favorite Umbrathene Wonder ability, this was a tough call. I know a lot of people don't like it, but Flying Scissor is a great card. It's a fun card to use. All you need is 3 cards in your Abyss, and you can basically destroy most wonders, I think, by getting -3 to something. So as the game goes on, it just gets more and more powerful. Obviously, Throne is a tough call with Flying Scissor, but we haven't seen Throne be run too much. But I think my favorite card is actually going to be Hester Dust, just because it's not core. So this is a great card to put in any deck. It's a sleeper card, costs 2. It's a 1 power, but who cares? But tap, and you can put a wonder with cost 3 or less from the Abyss into this realm or an adjacent realm. So, you can put him in a deck if you really need Petraia or Vobstalker, or even Klee. He can bring back some of the most powerful cards. You can use a Zephrys Skyark early in the game if you notice your opponent is having a lot of energy build up. Take that energy away, sacrifice it, get rid of it somehow, and then you can bring it back with Hester Dust, get another use out of it. There's a lot of powerful cards that are cost 3 or less, and so for Hester Dust to just come down, tap, and bring it back, I think is super powerful. And then we've got quite a few ways to untap cards. So in many of the decks that I use Hester Dust in, you get a lot of use out of them. So I really, really like that. The other animate cards are all core, so the fact that this one is not core, I think is really great. And he is pretty expensive on the DBS. I think he's up to between 30 and 40. I think that's a good number right now. When COTS comes out, he probably needs to go up again because we just have that many more powerful cards. And I just really like Hester Dust for the ability there. So I slept on him for the longest time, but now I think he's my favorite card ability for Umbrathene Wonders. All right, moving on to the items. I'm not going to go through all the orbitals here individually. I'm just going to look at all the items together and pick my favorite art pieces. There are some great ones in here. Of course, I love Ethereum Arc Launcher. You just got, you don't need to choose between a gun and a motorcycle. The motorcycle is the gun. Like, I really like that art piece here. I think that looks great. Another art piece that I really like is Whisperleaf Cloak. Just the mysteriousness of it. I think that's a great art, but my favorite art piece is actually going to be up here. Let me go up to it. Quill also looks fantastic, of course, but my favorite art piece is actually going to be Dimensional Piercer. So let me get this on screen a little bit easier so you can see. Whoops, Piercer. There we go. This, for me, just the gun looks good. I mean, I know it's a rifle, and it's so mysterious. It's interesting. It's got 2 grips on it, almost like maybe it's supposed to be used by non-humanoid beings, like maybe something that has more than 1 arm maybe. And it's got a short magazine, so I think it's more energy powered, but it looks great. And I like the way that it's staged here in this almost cathedral looking thing. I look at this almost like a museum piece. It's almost like this is a relic of the past. It's super powerful, so it's protected, only to be used in the worst cases. I thought about doing an anthology series, and I think this would be a cool piece to be like a heist of someone trying to take the Dimensional Piercer. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The scope is also super interesting on it. It does actually look like a real scope. The scale is a little bit off, but that might just be, again, because of the magic imbued in it or some kind of special, I don't know. Do we have gnomes? But maybe there's some special gnomish tech in it. I guess maybe cyberpunk tech in it. So yeah, I just really, really enjoy the art on this. It's kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. But that's what makes it so cool. So I really, really like that. It almost looks like the stock. There's no backstock on it. So maybe you're supposed to put your shoulder here. Maybe it goes, I don't know. This is kind of crazy, but Really, really like Dimensional Piercer. And then as far as my favorite item, ability, this is going to be no surprise, y'all. You know, I don't want to pick what everyone else is picking, but look, this is, it's just too simple to pick. Utterly Complex Compound Bow. To quote Alex, Honest AF, Dragon Cup champion of 2025, this card is dumb, right? When Equipped Wonder gets draw 2 cards when you battle, gain 1 energy, put -2 counters on target enemy. So anytime it battles, even if they attack, you put it in a realm that they're attacking, they don't want to attack in that realm. You get to draw 2. You get to draw cards. So instead of using an action to draw, you just use an action to attack. You draw the 2 cards. You gain an energy. It has some removal baked in, and it is attuned. So you just need 4 energy in a Heliosynth land, and you can play it without the action. And then to make it even dumber, it comes with a shield counter. Like, why does a bow need a shield? Why are you asking such stupid questions? Of course a bow needs a shield. This card is so much fun to play. It's very annoying to play against. This card is why I prefer to run Carrionus Moth in decks instead of Arcane Grasp or Nexus, because those cards need the right circumstances to take or get rid of Utterly Complex Bow. Carrionus Moth just nullifies it, and I'm totally fine with that, because this item is ridiculous, but this is definitely my favorite item to play. All right, let's take a look at some spells. Again, we're just combining all the orbitals here. This is another tough one because some of the spells have some of the best art. I really like the art on many of these. The art on Cast Out looks great. You know, they got the guy like going crazy and everything coming out of his head. I think is absolutely insane. Rend is a very popular card here because some people think that that's Emma. So that looks great. The Seer's Gaze promo alt art is great art as well. And there was one more, Summon Crushing Rock, right? Like I joke that I collect firearms and I consider Summon Crushing Rock one of those, because like if you don't have a firearm, which Umbrathene doesn't, just summon a Crushing Rock. Like that's better than any item you can do. But as far as art, my favorite is actually going to be Set Sail. I love this piece here. I think this would look great as a canvas. You've got this ancient ship, you know, coming out of the waves, coming out of the storm, conquering the sea. Even the flavor text kind of matches what the card does, right? Adventure calls whether you're willing or not. I love this art piece. I think this is great. It goes well with the land art that I'm going to choose for you in a second. As far as ability, I'm actually going to choose my favorite spell is Cast Out because it is so versatile. It's attuned Boundless, so it's core, so you have to have Boundless to play it. But if you have a Boundless land, it costs 1, and you can use it to look at the top 2 cards and draw into something that you're looking forward to. So it is a little bit of a higher risk because you may draw 2 cards, and if you're looking for a specific piece, you got to banish those 2 cards to get to the cards you need in your deck. But then also you can look at your opponent's top 2 cards, and maybe they're land flooded, they don't have a lot of cards in hand, just give them some more lands, keep those on top, or you can take a look at them and banish 2 cards that you know that they're needing. It's a great play. It's got a little bit of a risk, but I think it's very versatile. And then you get to draw a card on top of that. So, you know, if you're really trying to get into it, this is 3 cards for you to draw into, which I think is great. I prefer this over a lot of the other card draw, especially if you're playing Boundless. And I think this is a great versatile spell card. And of course, we can't leave the tokens out. There are some great looking token cards here. When it comes to the art, I really like Aether Valkyr, that Viking angel type looking art. Of course, you've got the large animals here, the whales. Ravagore is another one that like has that scale. He's coming out of the mountains. I think it's pretty cool. And then you've got Ravagore the Young. So you've got him as big as the mountains, but then Ravagore the Young, you've got him, you know, maybe the size of the trees. So you can see the difference in the 2 cards between the promo and the regular one. I also really like Temporal Fracture because I like time travel stuff. So you got this time fracture there in there. Templar of the Soul, the hologram, also looks really cool. I think that's really neat. But I think my favorite art is actually also going to be my favorite card token when it comes to playability, and that's going to be Loyal Friend. This is a token wonder. It's not in the tokens if you look at the, but you got the pug. My wife loves pugs. We had a half pug mutt for a lot of our life, and so he looks great. I think he's adorable, and he's rare, so it means something to me, I think. So I really like Loyal Friend for the art, and I do like the ability he has, which of course also gives him 25 DBS, which is wild. And right now his ability only works for Bella, so if you put him on there, seek 3 of Petraia Noble Wonder, the only Petraia Noble Wonder we have is Bella. I'm sure there's going to be more Petraia Noble Wonders coming in future sets. He's just going to grow in his ability, but I think that's pretty cool that we have a token that also also has an on-arrival ability. But the fact that he's 25 DBS means you can't just have 50 of them in your token deck to cycle through things. It's not doable, so to speak. So I love the art of Loyal Friend, but then I also like just the unique ability. And also, if you know the story, if you backed the first Kickstarter that got canceled, and then you backed the second one, just for doing both of those and being a part of the community and being early and then coming back, you got Loyal Friend for free. Basically, they just sent it to you as a surprise. So that also just has some meaning there that might influence some of my decision, but Loyal Friend for me wins both best art for tokens and best token ability. And finally, we get to the lands, and this was a tough one too. The lands are some of my favorite arts. If I had more money to collect, I would try to be collecting all of these lands. I think some of these lands are absolutely gorgeous. I love Clear Sky Eyrie for the castle aesthetic there, and then you got some ships behind it as well. It's like a castle on an island. I think that's really cool. Then you've also got Glacium Keep, which is another castle. You got Indra Citadel, which is kind of like a castle. And Market of Lost Wonders almost won my favorite. I love the scale here. I mean, you've got the market floor, you've got the merchants here on the sides, but then you've got these giant orbs and planets behind it. Just this cosmic market I think is so cool. Oakthorn's Elysium just looks nice and peaceful here. I love the little castle in the back. I'm not a huge castle guy, but man, I like that a lot. Also, the first, of course, is a classic, and Witch Warden also has great aesthetic there. I use it for a lot of my video backgrounds, but I think my favorite art, and it has a little bit of sentimentality, I actually really like Wave Whisper Bay. To me, even though I didn't spicy take here, I didn't like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I know a lot of people think it's the best Assassin's Creed. I just couldn't get through it. I'm not a huge pirate guy. I like pirate stuff. I'm watching One Piece right now, but I'm not a huge pirate guy. But Wave Whisper Bay reminds me a little bit of those times of Assassin's Creed Black Flag that I really enjoyed. And it's this little secluded area, nice and peaceful. You can relax on the beach. You can go swimming in that crystal clear water. You've got some little isles to explore. It just looks nice and peaceful compared to Whirlpool Bay. That looks like a nightmare. But Wave Whisper Bay, especially on formless foil, looks beautiful. And I would love to have this as a canvas behind me as well. There's a few pieces that I would like to have as canvases in my backgrounds, and this is one of them. I really like Wave Whisper Bay. I have a Vulcan Veil pre-release slab. I would love to trade for a Wave Whisper Bay pre-release slab. If you want to make my day, let's set that up because I would really like that. And then as far as usability, my favorite card as far as usability, it's a total cop-out. Ethereal Grove. Got to go with Ethereal Grove because basically whatever your favorite land is, I can just copy it, right? And then whatever my second favorite land is, I can just have another one. I really like Ethereal Grove. I try to put it in all my decks, even if it's not a Petraia deck, because it just gives you another option there. If I could not pick Ethereal Grove because that's a total cop-out, which I totally understand, it would have to be Market, just because the versatility of it. Now, there are some times when you're like, man, I wish I had the extra energy, but it's an odd number realm, so I can only get an extra action. I like that you can play it in realm 1 and tap it, and if you have the right sequencing, you can play it in realm 1, tap it, get 2 extra actions. So you can end up with 3 lands in 1, tap it, and still have 2 actions left. There's some interesting combos you can do on the first turn for that. But I really like Market. And if you can tap it for 2 energy and then untap it and tap it again for 2 more energy, it's a great energy generation that can help you just squeak out the card that you need early. I really like that ability. Honorable mention, Lightforge. It's tough to run because it's so DBS heavy, but this is great for controlling the early game that I really like, but I think Market of Lost Wonders is going to be my favorite land as far as playability. Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Is there anything I missed out? What's your favorite art? What are your favorite cards? I would love to see what you think in the comments. Let's nerd out and let's enjoy this game together. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Adios.